that, I remember dressing up as a moose and handing out leaflets on a street corner, and it wasn't until a couple of hours into the day that frankly, I took the time to look at the leaflet that I was handing out, and it was for the sports show, at the Sportsman's show at the New York Coliseum, and I'm a big sports fan. But it took me a while to understand that a sportsman's show, it's not about football and baseball and basketball, it's about fishing and hunting, and I was dressed as a moose. I didn't think it was right, so my form of protest was I would hand the leaflets out, but I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't say, come to the sportsman's show at the New York Coliseum. I was a mute moose.
You saved lives that day.
Yeah, and if I think I'd be unemployed.
Stuart, worst career moment, and what kept you going? Because you're still here.
There were so many. I think.
And you don't have to name names, guys. You could. I'll protect the innocent or the guilty, however you look at it.
Well, I just remember trying to get The Kids Are All Right made for years, and at 2 years after we'd started writing, we almost made it with Julianne Moore and other people attached, and other equally great people. And everyone said, we're not going to give you $5 million for two 50-year-old lesbians. And it was so brutal. It was just so clinical and so... Michael, you know what I'm talking about.
Left an agent after a long period, and I guess he was not pleased, because he subsequently took 2 scripts and gave them to other writers who got them made doing a paste and scissor job. And I found that really very upsetting. And even more upsetting when my lawyer informed me that, yes, we had an open and shut case, but was I willing to spend $250,000 to bring the case up to get what back? So, yeah, that left a very unpleasant taste.
Even having your scripts registered with the WGA or Copyright Office didn't protect you?
No.
Interesting.
That is bad. No, it really is. I got lucky very early. So I was just going to say that, on the one hand, everybody here, or most people here are probably, just thinking, all I need is a foot in the door, and then everything is going to be great. And I want you to hold on to that feeling, because once your foot is in the door, there are going to be a lot of bad career moments, whether it's being killed by the critics, or any one of a number of things that any of us can name. And to answer the question the way you kind of get back in the saddles, if you can just remember that if the things you're complaining about are the things you used to dream about, you're in pretty good shape. In other words, most of my life, if somebody had said you're going to be complaining, because this movie, this Hollywood movie that you wrote got bad reviews, I would say, I'll take it.
Perfect. Paul?
I guess for me would be when I saw that Air Bud 2 had made over 300 million worldwide, and I didn't have a piece of it. And it went on to make, I think, 10 films now, and I still don't have a piece of it. So I guess that would be my worst moment. It was hard for me to keep going from it, believe me.
I'm glad you stuck with it. Scott?
I think they're all hard. I think it's still hard. I mean, I'm still terrified of what my next job is going to be, and I've just been you just still get replaced on jobs all the time, and I have a script going out soon now that you're petrified and scared shitless that no one's going to like it and no one's going to hire you again. So I'm always in a complete state of terror and panic. And I think, as I was when I started, I think not only fear if I'll ever be able to do it again, like, oh God, I got lucky on this one and whatever, I'll never do it again, or I'll never get hired again. But I think the only answer to all of this is you just got to get up and write. Even sort of when I started, even to now, the only thing you can do that you can control is to get up every day and write. That's all you can do. But I think it's all a fucking horror.
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt, but isn't it worse, that fear, right after a big hit like yours? Because it's serious. Like, I just emailed David a couple of days ago to say, are you scared that the next thing you write is going to be the thing that you wrote after the King's Speech, hoping that David was going to give me a piece of comforting wisdom. And he said, yeah, I'm terrified.
And I said, how about you? And you didn't reply.
How about me? I don't even have either of your emails. I'm not even in the cool guys. Let's talk about this experience. I don't know, for me it's even baser. Am I going to write anything again? Seriously, I mean, I don't even know if, even to this level, but it's just like, I always feel like, oh, I got lucky on that one, no matter what it is. That one seemed to work, but can it will ever happen again? I don't know.
We're going to get to you in 1 second, Eric, but just one thing about David. He did a King's Speech screening with us, and one of my favorite quotes of the year, we were talking about ageism in Hollywood, and he said, to me, writing is the one profession that I would think gets better with age. And I think you're absolutely right. That's just one of my favorite things that you said.
Yeah, I feel very strongly that as long as you've got a brain, you can be a pain and make a contribution to the art and commerce of film. We don't have to do push-ups, we don't have to run 5 miles to do it, so we can just do it.
And I think what Michael said is, after you write 10, I mean, hopefully, experience is what makes you better, so I don't understand why the older you get, the better you get, hopefully.
I agree. Eric, worst career moment, what kept you going?
It probably followed one of the best moments. The first screenplay I ever wrote, I wrote for a film class, and it got optioned by Disney. And it went into development, and I worked on it, and got paid to work on it for a year. And then there was this period where I didn't hear from anybody for a long time, and I was down to my last $20. And I was on my way to get a haircut, and I got a call from the executive at Disney. I thought, oh good, we're moving on to the next step. Well, we weren't. They put it into turnaround, and it ended, and I had $20, and I went and got my haircut.
In doubt, get a haircut. All right, this is my last kind of negative question, but I think it's a positive. I've got to ask it, because I think it's amazing. I was thinking about everybody's films here tonight, and I kind of realized that it's awesome that you've all been nominated, and absolutely none of your films should have worked. And I want to talk about that for a second, because you guys were holding the torch when none of your films should have worked. The Fighter lives within the long shadow of the Rocky franchise, and you guys probably, I know you've been trying to make it for years, you got a lot of flack for Cinderella Man, which was also based on a true story and underperformed. David, a tale about, actually Aaron, the world over groaned when it was announced that there was going to be a Facebook film, and this was while you were sitting down to write it every day, so I want to hear about that in a second. David, a tale about a stuttering king could have even easily ended up as Masterpiece Theater. And Debra and Ann, a tale about rabbit-skinning countryside of the meth-ravaged Ozarks. You can't get anything else that people want to see on a Friday night beyond that. It's Friday night gold. And you guys finally made your movie with such gumption that you made a movie called Winter's Bone that you couldn't even afford to shoot in the winter, as you told me when we talked earlier this year, and I love it. Stuart, as you just said, 50-year-old lesbians aren't what financiers are looking for. And, of course, Michael, people think that there's safety in sequels, but with 2 amazing movies before you on Toy Story, you could have blown the entire franchise, and traditionally, 3rd movies and franchises beyond Return of the King absolutely suck. Don't even get me started on Ewoks. So,